I think because what they see in those series, no, they see that's the life that we supposed to live, and the
Mhm.
violence, and that's not the sole truth, no, because I'm gonna talk about my part of the story, that how the cartel of Cali operated. My dad was a businessman in the end. He started like a businessman in this industry. He wanted to make money, but something happened in the road. This guy Escobar appeared in the story, and then he had to defend ourselves. So that's the way we used to work. But I think this entertainment industry is glorifying this activity, and the violence is included in that glorification. So it's very difficult because they're sending the wrong signal, because
Mhm.
this brings consequence, and very hard, because at first you're gonna have all the glamour, you're gonna have all the power, and you're gonna have all the money you want. But when this starts to grow and gets out of hand, somebody's gonna come and put a stop to it, because that's the way it's worked, because that's the way the war against drug, and the repression of this industry has failed for me, because it's momentary. We're like chess pieces that when they want to take out of the board, they take it out. So
Mhm.
that's what people have to understand. Yeah, you're gonna have the rise, but you're gonna have the fall, and you have to be prepared to suffer the consequences. I suffered a lot. That's why I changed my life, because it was not easy. My life, I had to suffer a lot of stuff, like you say. I was shot 8 times, and I was 4 times an outlaw with $2 million in my head, and I escaped from being in life prison, because I took a good decision in a moment to surrender myself and change my life. No, so that's
Mhm.
what people have to understand, that life is not so easy. It looks, because I can show it. I was not a low profile guy. I was number 3 in this organization. No, that EA and the U.S. government said that we were the top criminal organization in the world in a moment. So I can really tell people how this has changed my life. First in a bad situation, and then when I took the good decision that I made in a moment of my life, it changed it, and I recovered my life. No, I had a loss.
Mhm. And so, when did you first discover the true business that your father was involved with? What age were you?
18. That happened when my uncle was captured in Spain in '84, and that where everything was the life we lived. It was now we knew who we were, and who my uncle was, and who my family were in this drug business. Because at first they live a low profile life. They were businessmen, industrials, in our zone in Colombia. They had a lot of companies. And then that happened because Escobar decided to kill politicians, and he killed the Ministry of Justice, and everything changed, no? Because something that was like accepted, because everybody was making money
Hmm.
in early '80s and '70s. It became like, everybody saw it bad, because this guy was killing everybody and putting bombs everywhere. So it was a war against drugs for the government, and everything changes, no?
Hmm. And so, being an 18-year-old, you're very much at that impressionable age in life. And so it must have come as a bit of a shock to realize, the true depths of obviously the family business, as it were. So, what was your, if you can remember, what was your reaction at the time?
At first, it was like, negative, because I felt betrayed, because they had lied to us. But at the end, like you say, I'm 18 years old. I'm living a good life. I have everything I want. I'm studying in a university. I have a good life. They have been good to me, and so in the end, I decided to continue with them because I think that 100% of people they put in my body in that moment. 99% will continue because that was my family, it was my companies, they were my future there. And then I started like being an accomplished in a moment because not because I was doing illegal stuff in those moments, because my dad had me a part of that life until I was 30 years old, and nobody in my family were involved in the business, and they wanted something different for us. No, they wanted to be legal, and we would continue running their economic employer.
Mm-hmm. And so, the life that you lived then must have been a million miles away from obviously the life that you live now. So how's that transition been for you?
First, it's hard, no, because mentally, habits are in your head, and changing them is difficult. But the only way to do it is with discipline, and in the end, it's hard. But I have here something that I never had. No, now I have how you call it in tranquilo. I'm calm. I can
Peace of
go
mind.
peace of mind. I can go and sit and have a coke and a beer somewhere without looking who's gonna shoot me or where or what cop is behind me. And I recover my family. No, I have lost my wife. I've been with her 30 years, and 9 years I was away from her. And I recover her, and I recover my kids. So that's like you put on a balance, and if you tell me which life I prefer, uh, honestly, I prefer this one because it was in a moment it was very, very well 20 years of stress, suffering, the consequences of my bad decisions.
And I think that's probably the problem with a lot of these dramas and programs, is that they're very quick to promote the upside, as you say, the glamour, the glitz, and the allure of the industry, but they don't share the negative aspects. And so you said you spent 20 years of your life dealing with an immense level of stress, watching over your back and everything else. And you also mentioned that you've been shot 8 times. Can you give a little background as to how that came about, and as to why you was assassinated, or as to why there was an assassination attempt?
Because in this business is, sometimes I don't understand why those guys act this way. When you're a top boss, you want to take out the other guy, but in this situation, it wasn't the moment to do it, because we were in the eye of the hurricane in those moments in Colombia, because everything was the Rodríguez, the pressure was on us. And this guy, they were coming up, the North Cali Cartel guys, they wanted to be number one. They were number one in those moments. And they started to make up stories, and they killed one of the associates of my dad. And then they thought that we were going to react against, but we're coming up. We wanted to be legitimate. They wanted to pay their debt to society and come out, all guys, and live their. They thought, no, in their minds that we're going to do that, but United States had another vision of what they wanted. So that what happened. No, this guy, I was the politic power in the street, and they saw me as an enemy, and they went for me. And unfortunately for me, I was the only guy. We were seven person in that restaurant. 3 were outside with my bodyguards. They got killed, and I was with 3 friends, and they died too. So I don't know. God decided that I have to live. And so that's why I started changing my life, because he showed me really which was the real power. He was the real power, right? I was nobody. I was in the floor dying, and he gave me a second chance.